All right. My connection, um, it's frozen up already. My connection isn't likely to hold up. However, we get to see right now how many of these situations where people were actually fighting back, the police, all they could do was take up a defensive position. But when they encountered a situation where they could grab somebody at random or grab somebody who was by themselves or separated, that's what they did, including little kids. And a lot of people say, why would you bring kids to a riot? They didn't bring kids to a riot. They bring kids to a peaceful protest. A lot of folks are making that excuse. Why would you bring a kid to a riot? There were literally thousands upon thousands of people nationwide, possibly as many as 1 million at certain points in time. And most of those people were not violent. You don't want to see that, do you? So now the police, they want to do all these things and get away with it to minorities and the homeless. And now there's people who are treating them that way, and it's not fun anymore, is it? It's not fun when it happens to you, is it? It's not fun when it happens back, is it? It's no fun, is it? While you're arresting people and making fun of them and putting them in positions that kill them, like they did in Boulder. Those officers thought that was hilarious. And yes, I understand that was a white kid. That doesn't make the loss any less heartfelt for his parents, does it? Does the fact that he's white means that he gets to come back from the dead and his mother can have him back and his father can have him back? Absolutely not. But now we get all these police officers. It's not fun anymore. They can't get away with it anymore. They're afraid that the laws are going to change, so they are actually held accountable for their crimes. In Boulder, Colorado, one of their favorite things to do, when I say there, I'm not talking about black people or white people. I'm talking about the police, specifically towards the homeless. They come up and they try to instigate us by bullying us verbally, by getting up in our space, and we can't say anything back or we get charged with use of fighting words. When Officer Steinman comes up and tells us homeless people about the bumsicle they just found with a smile on his face, and his buddies are laughing about it, they all got badges, they all got uniforms, and they know that that man who just froze to death is a friend of ours. And we can't say anything. Now we got the police. People are pulling them out and stomping them to death and shooting them, specifically over the things that have been happening. Now that's what I am against is blanket laws. What's a blanket law? A blanket law is a law that only counts towards certain people, but it counts towards all of them. Like if they were to make a law that makes it illegal for Black Lives Matters to say anything or advertise anything anywhere or to congregate anywhere, that's a blanket law. They have lots of blanket laws for the homeless. Now, there's also specific blanket laws that are about blankets, the very warm things that you put over you so you don't fucking freeze to death while you're allowed to use one in your house. If you're not in a house and you are out in the weather, you're not allowed to use one. It's against the law. You got to love Boulder, don't you? Now, all these things that keep on happening, and we've got worst case scenario versus best case scenario, and everybody's doing this. Why is it that the cops are getting away with it and this person didn't? Why is it this happened when it was a black person, but not when it was a white person? And then we have extreme opposites where we've got white people going, hey, see, this happened to this white person and nobody gave a shit. We're focused on black lives right now, but this person, their life was taken in the same way by the very same people, by the same organizations who are trained do this. This is the thing that most people in America aren't understanding. First of all, they are trained to do this. They're trained first and foremost so they don't cost the county or the city or the jurisdiction any money. Getting sued is what they're taught not to do. They're taught specifically who they can go after in order to increase the revenue of their given jurisdiction rather than cost. You can railroad somebody who doesn't have the money for a civil lawyer and who doesn't have the money for a real lawyer and who doesn't have anybody in their corner. Then there's more factors that make it easier than that. Once you've got it down to the factors that allow you to get away with it, there's also the fact that you've got a lot of cops who've been on the force for a lot of years and they know a lot of dirty tricks to get away with doing a lot of dirty things. We have the technology now. We have had the technology for literally decades now. I have been speaking out about body cameras. Decades. That's how long we've had them. Why is it that 20 years later, we still don't have body cameras and people are still being murdered and the police are still turning off their body cameras at will, whenever they want, whenever it is convenient for them? When do police officers turn off their body cameras? Why would they have a reason to turn off their body cameras if they're not doing anything illegal? Yet continually, through all of the situation that I have been through, police nationwide have turned off their body cameras, refused to give me their names or badge numbers, done so many illegal things, and I have to just take it. Well, that's not okay. I'm not going to say that what's happening to black folks is okay. I'm not going to say what's happening to foster kids is okay. I'm not going to say what's happening to the homeless is okay. These things are not okay. And a lot of people say, why don't you just focus on one, find one cause and stick with that? I did. That cause is the United States Constitution. It's meant for all of us. All these police officers that are quitting their jobs because now police officers are being treated as a blanket. You know, it's kind of like when you have one black person that comes in and they steal your change jar. You're not allowed to tell all black people they can't come in there because one stole your change jar, are you? But if it's a homeless person, let's say there's a homeless person that comes in, they're an addict, they need to get their drugs, and they come in and they steal your change jar. And you're mad. You hate all homeless people now, and you want all homeless people to not be allowed in your store. You can do that. You can prevent homeless people from coming into your store. And there's no repercussions. It's not like you're being racist. It's not like you're preventing all of these people from coming in because of the color of their skin. But then you look at how black people are treated and how foster children in specific and former foster children are treated by the justice or criminal justice system or juvenile justice system. Former foster children are the most victimized adults in America. That is not a joke. More victimized than all minorities combined times 5. Why? Because the majority of the homeless population is former foster kids. Most of us turn 18 and we are automatically homeless. And the laws are anti-homeless. You say, oh, well, I don't see any laws that say it's illegal to be homeless. No, it's not illegal to be homeless. It's illegal to go to the bathroom when you're homeless. It's illegal to use a blanket when you're homeless. It's illegal to sleep at night when you're homeless. Boulder, Colorado is not the only city in America that has those laws. Meanwhile, as I heard, they quit having Boulder County Cares out there, so they no longer pass out blankets. It's just as well those blankets were illegal. Boulder County Cares, they'd get money and get paid money to go pass out blankets to homeless people to say, hey, see, we're trying to do something to help out homeless people as a community here in Boulder. And they pass out those blankets until 10:30, and then at 10:30 they become illegal to use them. And then, well, the police come and round you up. If you can't physically do all of the things they want you to do, that $400 worth of fines and the 60 hours of community service, you got to serve 3 days in jail. Now, 3 days in jail is a lot of time, especially if you're living out of a backpack and they take your backpack, because oftentimes they won't give you your backpack back. They tell you it'll be down at property and evidence, but instead of taking it to property and evidence, they give it to Boulder County Cares. And Boulder County Cares pulls everything out of it, and then they put it in a room that's got a bunch of turpentine in it because it's supposed to kill any bugs that are in it. And then they give you this stuff back that is basically a fire hazard. And now they don't even have Boulder County Cares. But that 3 days in jail, Boulder County gets paid for that. The taxpayers pay for that. You lose all of your stuff. Now you end up homeless without any of that. Hey, Casey Steele. Casey Steele is over here in live chat. Just in case there's some of you who watch my videos and think that I'm crazy and talking to myself, I'm actually responding most of the time to live chat over here. A lot of times when I go off on a tangent, it's because somebody typed in live chat and I got ADOS, that's attention deficit. Oh, squirrel! Or oh, shiny. The thing that I really want to impress upon y'all most is that, first of all, I am on black folks' side. I am on LGBT side too, though. I am also on the side of children. I am also on the side of women. I am also on the side of men. I'm also on the side of immigrants. Do you know why? Because the side that I am on is the United States Constitution, even if it no longer exists. I feel that document is worth both fighting and dying for. And until we have soldiers who are willing to do that, I can't rightly respect a soldier. As a human being, I can respect them. But their job, no, absolutely not. I can't respect a Nazi. Are you fucking kidding me? You look at a lot of the laws that were enacted by Nazi Germany, a lot of the stuff that, and you're going to think this is fucked up when I say it, but Donald Trump isn't the only one who tried to enact those laws. And Bush Sr. and Bush Jr. weren't the only ones. Bill Clinton did the same thing, and so, believe it or not, did Barack Obama. These guys are not on our side. Barack Obama is as white as fucking anybody else in politics. I like Barack Obama, but you know what? I didn't vote for anybody. The only election that I wanted to vote in was the one where Colin Powell was going to run for president. I was like, you know what? There's a motherfucker I can stand behind. But no, he wasn't. He definitely wasn't. I was hoping. There wasn't much change. No, you can still vote for whoever you want. No, because we want our party to win. Really? Why does it matter which party wins when neither one of them is on our side? George Washington warned us of the two-party system. Y'all listen to the British fucking bitch about their Tories all the damn time. Tories, 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 Tories. What's the other political party over there? I'm sure there's many of you could probably let me know that, and I'm sure you guys do the same BS we do in the United States of America. We're not getting any progress done because we've got a bunch of rich people bickering and wasting our fucking time, resources, and not getting shit out of it. The American people, a lot of y'all think that we live in two-car garages. Every American lives in a two-car garage and has a fucking Maserati and a Rolls Royce. We're the richest country on earth, and so on and so forth. No, we got people here who are worth billions and billions of dollars, but I'm not. I don't own a fucking Maserati. The closest I ever had to owning a Rolls Royce is I bought a jet engine part from a Allison 250 helicopter engine. It's not just used in helicopters, by the way. And that Allison 250, even though the part that I got was made by Allison, The engine itself and the production of it was bought out by Great Britain, by Rolls-Royce. And so, kind of, sort of, I owned a pre-Rolls-Royce. God, my allergies are fucking killing me today. It rained like you wouldn't believe last night. It was pretty nice. I really enjoyed it. I was hoping for some real good lightning storms. We haven't had a really, really good one yet this year. We had one that passed south of us, and it was gorgeous, but it passed south. It didn't go over top. We didn't get the chain lightning. Like, if you guys have ever seen chain lightning, Chapel, Nebraska, because of the uniqueness of the thermal draw that it's in, it'll be a different temperature in the valley here in Chapel, Nebraska than it is everywhere out or around us. So we'll get chain lightning that'll go all the way around our town. The most I've ever counted chain lightning going around our town is 7 times. It gets insane. It's fucking beautiful. There's nothing like it in the world that I have ever seen. Although I haven't been outside of the United States, I can't imagine when you have chain lightning like that. It's as bright as daylight, but the shadows, because it's not sunlight directly overhead. It's lightning miles off horizontally in the distance. So it's all off there horizontally in the distance, and you've got a tree in front of you. It casts the shadow of the tree on you, but you can see everything around you lighting up. And it's going around the town, so you get to see it go all sorts of different directions. It's almost a strobe effect, but the lightning is still going, so it's not just strobing, it's still on. It's like having a fluorescent light bulb on while you've got the next one bleeping on and off. The thing is, we've got a lot of people who aren't able to put themselves in other people's shoes. When I think about a lot of the ancient civilizations and things like that, I think emotionally. I put myself in real situations that I've seen actual human beings in my life in modern day. And when I put ancient people in my position, like what would happen emotionally? You know, you don't have to have a computer or something like that to have the same emotions. You don't have to have electricity to have the same emotions. You know what hot is, you know what cold is, you know what burn is. If you burn your finger, it's the same as somebody in the ancient world. They burnt their finger. We got all these police officers who are quitting because they're being treated how they've been treating others. They don't fucking like it. And a lot of folks say, well, you know, these people shouldn't be doing what they're doing. What do you mean? Equality. If that's the way that we're going to treat those people, we should not bitch if those people treat us that way back. And I'm talking about any group. Now, with the homeless, you steal our tip jar 6 years ago, so your backpack tells us you shouldn't be allowed in our store and we're not going to let you in. But with the police officers, it's always different. Oh, well, you know, you homeless people are all addicts. You homeless people are fucking thieves. You homeless people are this. You homeless people are that. No, we're railroaded because every time you see somebody who it's easy to blame it on, you fucking call the cops and blame it on them. And they don't have any way to fucking defend themselves. So they have to fucking sit it out in jail until they finally give in because they're not allowed an honest fucking court date. And the more they have to sit there and just wait, the more they realize they're never going to get an honest court date. So eventually they give in and they go, all right, I'll plead guilty to a crime I didn't commit. Just let me out of here. Let me go see my loved ones, please. Meanwhile, I don't mind blaming all my problems on black people. I don't. I can go, you know what? It's all these black people's fault for not fighting for my rights. But then what am I doing? I am blanketing I'm saying it's the black people's fault, and it's fucking not. There are 8 billion people on the planet. We cannot just go blame all of the fucking heads of whatever. All right? We can't. We can't blame everything in America on Donald fucking Trump. Police officers, if Donald Trump says that it's all right for you to harm people like he did the first time he was trying to get the election, like he has said several times since the election, if Donald Trump says it's all right for you to shoot people, you don't have to listen to Donald Trump. You are not his fucking property. You're not his bitch. Seriously. Wearing a badge should not mean that you owe the department 2 bales of fucking cotton. That's fucked up. Casey, I'm going to show that just because it's relevant. Casey Steele typed, grab her by the star, 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 star. I'm going to let you guys figure out your own expletive for that. So we got all these police officers who don't want to put themselves in someone else's shoes. And now they have to. Now it's in their face. And it's not fun anymore. And they're walking off their jobs because it's not fun anymore. What do you mean? I can't just bully them and have no fear of any retaliation against me. What do you mean? I can't just go beat up a black man or a homeless man. What do you mean? I can't just turn off my camera in the middle of fucking a situation and then put whatever I want to it as if I am always honest and God's gift to the truth. What do you mean I can't play judge, jury, and executioner? What do you mean I can't omit evidence anymore? What do you mean these people are doing these things back to us that we did to them? This isn't okay. This isn't fair. Yeah. You're getting the fucking point, cops. It's not fair. Through all of this, none of the shit that I've been fucking having to go through has been fair. But then you get to hear Scott DaCosta, one of my fucking goddamn predators. When I gave him a tiny taste of what I've been through, you know what he said to me? He said, that's not fair. He's not the only person to say that's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair. You don't fucking like it back? Oh my God. Imagine that. When I asked you nicely and tried for so long to show you the truth, hoping that you would look at it, put yourself in my shoes, and fucking do something, and you didn't. So I put you in my fucking shoes. And not even like this. Not even as a flat plane. Not even on an equal level. I went so fucking easy on you. Just a tiny bit. And he says, it's not fair. It's not fair. You see how easy that motherfucker fucking cracked? And all these other people. A lot of you got to listen to those conversations with Jen Beebe, and your fucking assessment in that situation is the same as mine, ain't it? And that's after fucking almost over 2 years of that shit now. Over 2 years with Jen Beebe, her doing this shit. 5 goddamn months. You know, while I was gone elsewhere, I was trying to call her too. And Jeff Ritter as well. And the laws allow them, when they fuck up, to hide exactly the way that they do. But then again, the laws actually don't. That's why these guys are afraid to come forward, is because by law they can lose their licenses. The companies that they work for can lose their licenses. They can actually serve jail time. Yeah. If you've got officers that work under you and their testimony can get you jail time, and somebody has evidence that could put that officer in jail who works for you, yeah, it's in your best interest to get that officer the fuck out of state. And how many times did just here in Chapel, Nebraska, how many times did they do that? Jordan Anderson, Cody Selhorst. Who else? Same thing with Joel J. I'm not sure if you guys are getting how hard that is for me to imagine how all three of these people who I was trying to take to court and was repeatedly prevented from doing so. And now, a lot of these places that I went to, they tell me a different story than they did before. Of course, now people are aware that I record stuff. Before, when I wasn't able to because I didn't have the stuff to do it, or because I didn't fucking know how, it was a different story. Yes, I ran out of cigarettes again. I'm also out of money. I was able to get some real food with my food stamps, and I'm thank goodness that I have them. The thing is that I just got them back. I just got housing back. I just got an address of my own back after, well, years. Natalie was killed in December of 2017. I was made homeless because of her death. I no longer had an address that I could have these things sent to because of her death. I had to carry evidence everywhere that I went in the hopes of getting some officer to look at it instead of treat me the way that they were. But when you're homeless, you're used to it. Unless you're a pretty girl, in which case they're probably not a lot nicer to you than they are to most. Homeless people know in Boulder County that the two people they have to worry about the most are the police, number one, and number two, the college kids. Those are the most likely people to assault you. Those are the most likely people to call the cops on you. They're the most likely people to play victim if you defend yourself. And they're the most likely to come do it in groups. I'm glad the police are walking off. They don't like being treated that way. Well, why did you treat others that way for years and years? Why did you turn a blind eye to your fellow officers treating other people like that for years and years? Why did you cover for other officers who did those things? Why did you allow those officers to get away with it, to go on to another department and harm more people like Officer Waylon Lolatai and Officer Burke? These officers had a history of violence. And they weren't removed from their police forces. They were allowed to stay on and get paid until they quit and went to work for someone else. Now, then you got jurisdictions like Boulder County. Boulder County specifically hires hobo hunters. There are a lot of rich people in Boulder County, and they don't want to see any poor people unless they're brown-skinned and working. Boulder County, even though we call it liberal, is quite the racist place. See, while most of the people who, well, have been ran out of town at this point were good people who made Boulder a wonderful place to be, a wonderful place to live, a wonderful place to actually raise your children. The rich people don't think that way, and they're the ones in charge. They're the ones on the Boulder City Council, and they have no connection to homelessness whatsoever. They've never been homeless. And until they have been forced into homelessness for the crimes they've committed that have literally killed hundreds of people in Boulder County in just the last decade, well, they're not gonna care that they are incarcerating innocent people while they're the ones who are committing felonies that are literally murdering human beings. But those human beings don't matter because they're homeless. Those human beings aren't human beings because they're homeless. Those human beings are to blame for everything that is wrong in your life. Your sister's a junkie, it's the homeless people's fault. Your daddy raped you, it's the homeless people's fault. Your husband beat you up, it's the homeless people's fault. So, good riddance to every fucking police officer who wants to walk off the job. Good riddance. You don't like it back? Good. If you can't handle the heat, get the fuck out the kitchen. Merry fucking Christmas.